Today we're making a smoked beef short rib, Guinness and bone marrow pie. The filling for this one's made by cooking beef ribs low and slow in the smoker, and then putting the meat and folding it through a rich Guinness sauce. We're using two types of pastry for the pie crust, and there's a roasted bone marrow poking through the lid. The marrow inside will melt away into the filling as the pie bakes. So here's how we make it. First we need to season our beef ribs. So you'll need 4 individual beef short ribs for this recipe. This just means that they'll cook quicker and we'll get more bark on the outside. And because we're going to be pulling the meat, we don't really need to trim them. So to season the ribs, we're going to first apply a slather. I've gone with French's mustard, but you could use oil instead. This just helps the rub stick to the meat, and you'll only need a small amount. I'm going to be coating my ribs in my homemade barbecue seasoning, but feel free to use a shop bought one or your own instead. I'll stick the ingredients for my rub up on the screen. So you want to make sure that the entire outside of each rib is coated in a light layer of the rub. Then once all of the ribs have been seasoned, we're going to let them sit at room temperature whilst we light the smoker. I'm using my Weber Smoky Mountain, but you can use any barbecue as long as you can cook on it indirectly. This is how you slow cook on a barbecue, and it just means that the food isn't in direct contact with the heat. So when you're cooking meat like this, it's best to treat the smoke like an ingredient. For the best possible flavour, you want to use a really good charcoal and a good quality wood. I've gone with a mixed hardwood charcoal and a chunk of birch wood. Oak, hickory, apple or cherry wood would be some other good alternatives. So here I've lit a chimney starter full of charcoal. I'm going to tip it into the bottom of my smoker and then add some more charcoal on top. Plus a chunk of wood. Then I'm going to let it preheat to 250 degrees Fahrenheit or 120 degrees Celsius. There's a water pan in there as well. Once the smoker's up to temperature, we're going to add in the beef ribs so they're facing meat side up and then let them smoke undisturbed for 3 hours. Throughout the cook, it's important to maintain a consistent temperature. To do this, you can adjust the smoker's vents and then add in more charcoal as needed. After 3 hours of cooking, the ribs will have taken on a good amount of colour. We're going to continue cooking the ribs for another couple of hours until they've developed a really good bark, but we're going to spray them with a 50-50 mix of apple cider vinegar and water every 30 minutes. This just stops the surface of the meat from drying out and helps them take on more colour and smoke. So after around 4.5 to 5 hours of cooking, your beef ribs should look something like this. So at this point we're going to make our Guinness sauce, which we'll be braising the ribs in until they fall off the bone. First we're going to prep our veg. So we're using onions, carrots and celery as the base of our sauce. So we've got 2 white onions here. I'm going to peel them and then finely dice. Then we're going to set it aside for the time being. Next I've got 2 sticks of celery and I've washed them and I'm going to cut them into a 1/2 centimetre dice. We're keeping the carrots and celery fairly chunky so they hold their shape as they cook. We'll just chuck all the veg into a bowl together. So finally I've got 3 carrots. I'm going to peel them and then cut these into a 1/2 centimetre dice as well. Next I'm going to make a bundle of herbs to flavour the sauce. So I've got a few sprigs of rosemary and thyme. I'm just going to tie them together using butcher's twine. This will make it easier to take the herbs out of the sauce later on. We've also got 4 cloves of garlic, which we'll be grating into the sauce, and 3 bay leaves. Next we're going to set a large pan over a medium heat, add in 2 tablespoons of veg oil, leave to heat up, and then add in the diced veg, plus a good pinch of sea salt. We're going to fry the veg, stirring frequently until it's started to soften and has browned lightly. This will take around 10 minutes. Once the veg is cooked, we're going to grate in 4 cloves of garlic and then fry for another 30 seconds. Then we're going to stir in a tablespoon of tomato paste, cook for another 30 seconds, and then deglaze the pan with 500 ml of Guinness. If you like, you could use another type of stout or red wine instead. So to deglaze, we stir in the Guinness whilst scraping the bottom of the pan with the spatula to release all the caramelised bits. Then once we've done that, we're going to pour in 500 ml of beef stock and then add in the bundle of herbs and the bay leaves. Now we need to bring the sauce to a simmer and then take it off the heat. And then we can add in the beef ribs. So at this point the ribs have had around 5 hours in the smoker, and as you can see they've taken on loads of colour. However, they won't be tender at this point, so we're going to braise them in the oven until they're falling off the bone. To do this, we're going to add the ribs into the braising stock and cover the pan with foil. Then we're going to place the pan into an oven that's been preheated to 150 degrees Celsius or 302 degrees Fahrenheit. Then let them gently braise for another 2 to 3 hours until the meat is falling off the bone. So once the ribs are ready, we're going to take them out of the stock as well as the herbs and then set them to one side so they can cool slightly. You can get rid of the herbs though because we don't need them anymore. So you'll know when the beef's ready because the bone will slide out of the meat easily like this. Next we're going to bring the sauce to a boil over a medium heat so we can thicken it up. We'll be doing this with a cornflour slurry, which is just 3 tablespoons of cornflour mixed with 3 tablespoons of cold water. We're also going to add in 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire Sauce for extra flavour. Once the sauce is up to the boil, we're going to stir in the cornflour and then cook it out for 2 to 3 minutes until the sauce is thick. Once it looks something like this, you can take the pan off the heat. Next we're going to pull the short rib meat by hand and then add it into the sauce. Make sure to get rid of any sinew or bones. We're also going to keep the meat fairly chunky so it doesn't get lost in the sauce. If you like, you could save the bones and use it to make a beef stock. So once all the meat's been added into the sauce, we're going to stir it in and then season it to taste with salt and pepper. The rub that I used for my ribs was fairly peppery, so I'm just going to add salt in. Then we're going to transfer our pie filling to a shallow dish, let it cool, and then chill it in the fridge overnight. This will improve the flavour of our filling and also means that it will be completely cold when we assemble our pie. Next we're going to make some hot water crust pastry, which we'll be using as our pie crust. To do this we're going to add 300 grams of plain flour into a mixing bowl with a 1/4 teaspoon of table salt. We whisk this together and then set it to one side. You'll need an egg yolk as well. Next, into a pan we're going to add 45 grams of lard, 45 grams of unsalted butter and 100 grams of water. We set the pan over a medium heat, cook to melt the fats and then bring it to the boil. Then as soon as the water and fats are boiling, we're going to pour them into the flour, stirring constantly with a wooden spoon. We're going to keep stirring to make a really rough dough, and then we're going to add in the egg yolk. Doing this in stages stops the egg yolk from scrambling. We're going to keep mixing to bring everything together. Then we're going to give it a quick knead by hand to make a smooth dough. The pastry will still be warm at this point, so I like to wear a pair of food-safe gloves. Make sure to be careful not to overwork the pastry though. Once you've got a smooth pastry, we're going to cover the bowl with a tea towel and let it rest for 20 minutes. It needs to be slightly warm when we roll it out. So we're going to be using a 9-inch pie dish for this pie, and we just need to grease it with either butter or lard. So I'm just going to give the hot water crust pastry a quick knead so it's the same temperature all the way through. Then I'm going to roll it out on a lightly floured surface into a 4mm thick disc. The pastry needs to be big enough so it overhangs the pie dish by a couple of centimetres. Then the easiest way to transfer the pastry to the pie dish is to roll it around your rolling pin and then gently lay it into the dish. Then we're going to use our hands to gently press the pastry into the pie dish. Next I've got a centre cut bone marrow that's around 12 centimetres long. We're going to stand this up in the middle of the pie dish and then spoon the beef filling around it. So to get rid of any impurities in the bone marrow, I soaked it overnight in lightly salted cold water. Then I made sure to dry it really well. This step's completely optional though. So once we've added all the filling into the pie, we're going to set it to one side whilst we roll out the lid. So here I've got a 320g sheet of ready rolled puff pastry, and before rolling it out I'm just going to fold it in half. This just means that we'll be able to roll it out to the right size. The pastry should just be big enough to cover the top of the pie. So because there's a bone marrow sticking out of the pie, we need to cut an X in the lid so it will fit through. Next we're going to brush the edge of the pie with a light layer of egg wash. I use an egg mixed with a teaspoon of milk. Then we're going to carefully place the puff pastry on top, pushing the bone through the X that we cut in the pastry a minute ago. Then we're going to lightly press around the edge of the pie to stick the two pastries together, and then we're going to mould the pastry around the bone to seal it in. Now we're going to use a fork to crimp the edge of the pie. If you dip your fork in flour, it won't stick to the pastry. Now we just need to use a small knife to trim the pastry flush with the edge of the dish. Then before baking, we need to chill the pie in the fridge for at least an hour. When we're ready to bake the pie, we're going to preheat an oven to 210 degrees Celsius or 410 degrees Fahrenheit and place a baking tray inside to heat up. Whilst the oven's preheating, we're going to brush the top of the pie with a light layer of egg wash and then put it back in the fridge. So we're going to be baking the pie on top of the tray that's heating up in the oven. This ensures that the bottom of the pie will be crisp and fully cooked and not soggy. Once the oven and tray are both up to temperature, we're going to take the pie back out of the fridge and give it another light coating of egg wash. Then we're going to place the pie on top of the tray in the oven and bake for 55 minutes to an hour until the pastry is a deep golden brown and the filling is piping hot. As the pie bakes, the bone marrow will start to render and melt into the pie filling. Now that our pie is baked, we're going to let it sit in the tin for at least 30 minutes or up to an hour. This gives the filling a chance to set slightly and the pastry will firm up as well, which makes it easier to slice the pie and it will hold its shape. When you're ready to serve, carefully pull out the bone marrow and set it to one side. Then use a sharp knife to cut the pie into wedges. Carefully lift a slice of pie out onto a plate and then top with some of the roasted bone marrow that's still in the bone. You can serve this pie on its own or with extra gravy and some sort of potato side dish like chips or mashed potato. And that's how to make my smoked short rib, Guinness and bone marrow pie. The full written recipe can be found on my blog saltbuttersmoke.com. And if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week for another recipe.